She is the most beautiful woman in the universe, and her title as Miss Universe requires her to travel the world frequently for various causes. However, this has been made impossible by the COVID-19 pandemic, as it has brought the entire world to a shutdown. Joining me on video call this morning is our very own Miss Universe 2019, Zozibini Tunzi, all the way from New York City. Welcome, Zozi. Woo, woo. It's such a pleasure to have you here on our show. I was saying, uyaglowa unjani?
Thank you.
You're right, Enkosi. I mean, you travel quite a bit, as we've mentioned earlier on, and COVID-19 has brought the entire world to a shutdown, and New York has more coronavirus cases than any other state and any other country globally. Can you tell us more about how this pandemic has affected your life abroad?
Well, it's safe to say it's affected every aspect of my life, you know, both personally and professionally, because a big part of my job is traveling across the globe, which was put to a standstill at around March after my last trip to Indonesia, because that's when a lot of lockdowns started happening, and obviously my safety came first to the organization, and so they kind of put all my trips on hold. So I haven't left my apartment in about over a month, almost close to 2 months now.
That is a long time, Zozibini. You don't even walk out to buy groceries?
No, I do walk out because we're actually allowed to walk here. I take a walk, and I live close to Central Park. So I walk to Central Park most of the times, and every morning, every afternoon, I'll try to walk. But other than that, no work outside of my apartment.
I mean, you've mentioned now, Ugmana, you know, the COVID-19 pandemic, your health comes first to the organization. But how then did you, have to adapt to still be able to perform your duties during the lockdown period?
We're lucky enough to be living in a global age, so we can actually do things globally. We can work from our bedrooms. I mean, I'm having this interview with you right now in the safety of my home. And so I think I've been able to use that tool, because when things like this happen, you sort of have to adapt and you have to improvise. I always say, I've always known that, my reign would be unique, however unique it might be, but I didn't think it would be this unique, but I'm just ready to take whatever challenge as it comes, and just use the internet, social media to carry on my reign.
Your reign is definitely unique with a new crown. Uzozibini wakutsolo. I mean, you also mentioned, Bana, that you've recently launched a hashtag Universe United on social media, when people can share how they're keeping entertained at home. How did it start, and tell us more about it?
So we decided to start the Universe United campaign because I always tell people to take up space, and it doesn't matter where we are, we can still be taking up space in our homes. Hence, we started the Universe United hashtag just to start this global virtual community where people can come together to share their stories, whether good or bad. They share their successes there. They share their failures there as well. But I think the most important thing that we've done with the hashtag is we've been holding a lot of interviews with a lot of experts from different fields and industries from all across the world. So I've had people on, guests like UN women, women from United Nations Women. I've had journalists, I've had psychologists, I've had people in the entertainment industry and former Miss Universe queens, just different people to give their expert opinion, especially during this time. So I've been using my voice essentially for this reign and with the Universe United campaign.
I love how you use your voice, especially on social media. You're very active. You respond to your followers, which I think is absolutely important. And what you're doing with this hashtag is essentially important because it's, building this sense of community and support for people who may, for example, be living alone who don't have access to other people, to share their talents or to share their thoughts. So that is absolutely beautiful. But as for Wayne and Dombi, what are you doing to stay sane during these tough times? I mean, also considering that you're so far away from your family and your loved ones.
Girl, right? I've never felt this homesick before, and it's actually so funny because I probably wouldn't be home anyways, even if this wasn't happening. But just because I'm so confined in this space, I guess I've kind of been thinking of home and wishing that I was with family, especially since they're with each other. But, you know, luckily for video calls, and I'm able to speak with them every day. I also have a roommate, Chasley. I think she's out running right now.
Okay.
But so it's not that lonely.
Okay, that's good. At least you have someone, you know, to just chat to before calling it a day. But also, you've been looking very beautiful on your posts and also right here on our video chat. We also know that you've done a campaign for W Beauty's new foundation. And I'm sure that the products are doing wonders for your video calls and your Insta stories. What are beauty tips do you have for our viewers to get Zoom ready in under 5 minutes for those people who have Zoom meetings or whatever it may be?
I am those people. Those people are me. I have such a great working relationship with Woolworths. You know, we've shot a lot of campaigns together, you know, fashion and beauty. But yes, I did shoot Woolworths beauty campaign. It was a pretty great one for their foundations. And yeah, to get ready, usually, when I'm very lazy, I will put on my head wrap or my doek, first of all, because my hair has been a mess. And literally just concealer and foundation, mascara. It takes me about 10 to 15 minutes when I do that. But sometimes I want to glam it up and I want to have eyelashes like I do today. Then I'll wake up a bit earlier. But sometimes it's so difficult to put in that effort. So I always tell people, if you have foundation, if you have a little glow on your face, put on highlighter. It will fool everyone into thinking you have a full face of makeup.
Yes, that's true. And a little bit of concealer under the eyes.
Just put in concealer, your highlighter, your foundation, and you're good to go.
But lastly, Zozibini, I mean, we know that we are all going through unprecedented times, difficult times globally. What message of strength and hope do you have for your fellow South Africans, particularly Abantu Bakutsolo, the Eastern Cape? We know that those are the remote areas, you know, that don't have access to sanitation, and most parts of it don't have access to clean water. What kind of message of hope would you have for people in those specific communities?
You know, when this started happening, I remember I put out a tweet where I said, oh my goodness, I'm thinking of all the villages and mostly townships, you know, in South Africa, when I was telling people, I hope people don't travel as much, you know, I hope people don't go back to Eslalini as much, because we all know the health system there is not too great. Like you said, sanitation and water as well is an issue. And so if it gets there, those are the people that will get affected the most. And so my message still remains the same. If you can stay put in one place, you know, please don't endanger the lives of others by traveling to go see your grandmothers and your cousins, you know, in the villages. Try and stay put as much as you can, because if we stand still, the virus stands still as well. It doesn't, you know, spread. It moves when we move. But also my message of hope is that, you know, the whole world is going through this. You're not alone. So I really like people to take comfort in knowing that we're all fighting together to try to get to the end. And we will get to the end, because I feel like people think we're all going to die and it's the end of the world, you know. And I think it's going to be okay. All they just need to do is to take care of themselves and their health, to be careful when they're out there. And if they can, please stay home.
I love that so much. From the universe herself, Zozibini Tunzi. Zozi, thank you for joining us this morning, Mdase, and for brightening our days with your positive approach to this pandemic, and just also giving us, you know, the 411 on how to continue slaying and looking good. Enjoy the rest of your morning, Va.
Thank you so much, Kuhle.